Okay, in the interest of understanding real estate and land use districts on the island of Oahu, it's important to understand the island of Oahu itself, which is depicted in this picture here on the Hawaii.gov page via Geographic Information Systems, which is now up to date with the technical world. And as you can see, this is a interactive map as I place my cursor over the island of Oahu, and you can see the different areas as they're coded here in accordance with land use districts. In summary, it says regulate land use in a manner that will encourage orderly development in accordance with adopted land use policies, including Oahu General Plan and development plans, and to promote and protect the public health, safety, and welfare of community. That's a mouthful, and that could be interpreted in many different ways, but that's not what I'm getting into right now. I want to discuss just the island of Oahu and how the land is regulated, not the specifics of regulation, just the general idea of how much of the island is in use for residential property. So I'm going to highlight the areas as we go with my cursor here. And I'm going to start with the west side here and the two mountain ranges that are predominant on the island of Oahu. And that is the Waianae Mountain Range right here, which is not necessarily listed as the Waianae Mountain Range, but it's listed under the conservation code, the land use district as a conservation. The reason I highlight these first is because probably they're one of the largest areas in which no one's going to actually live. The other side is the Ko'olau Mountains, which is the largest mountain range on Oahu, and it's also listed, as you can see, as conservation. The other non-residential, well, it's not, it is actually can be used as a residential living space, but they're mainly used as agriculture or growing crops. People can live there, but there are certain regulations that they have to live by in accordance with growing agriculture. Anyway, this is the west side, starting with the west side next to the Waianae Mountain Range. You have the agricultural area here along the Waianae coast. And I'm just going to go along and point out that there's a huge agricultural area just on the opposite side of the Waianae Mountain Range, kind of in the middle, leading up towards the North Shore here. There's other agricultural areas. There's other conservation areas that are smaller here, as you can see, as I place my cursor. But the agriculture areas are smaller down south, southeast. This is the southeastern part of the island here. You can see there's agricultural land up here on next to Haula, and there's a big area over by Pupukea on the North Shore, as I'm highlighting here. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the urban areas, and that's where primarily residential properties will be located and humans will be. So I'm starting from the west side and going around counterclockwise. Here's the leeward coast. And as you can see, a lot of the residential areas, not including agriculture, just urban, are close to the coast. But there is also urban areas in the middle of the island too. A large urban area southeast, which includes Waikiki Town, Pearl City, Aiea, and in the middle here, you've got like Mililani, Wahiwa. Then we're continuing on counterclockwise. It's down by Hawaii Kai, Fort Lock. And here we're now on the east side, Kailua Kaneohe. Kaneohe, that's the military base, Kaneohe Marine Corps Air Station. And then these are all eastern portions of very thin areas of urban residential areas, urban. Got to get really close to see the urban land use districts. And I'm going all the way. You can see they're really small. If you think there's a lot of living spaces on the island of Oahu, you're mistaken. There is not a lot. There's mostly conservation and agricultural land. So there you have it. Within, I don't know, a few minutes of just a brief understanding of the makeup of land use on the island of Oahu. Hope it helps.